Welcome. Tonight, let your mind drift into the quiet corners of the English language. You're about to hear a collection of rare and beautiful words, each one chosen for its uniqueness, its sound, and the way it settles gently on the tongue. There's no story to follow, no plot to remember, just a slow, peaceful unfolding of language, designed to lull you to sleep. The images will stay dark, but whimsical. The words will flow, and all you have to do is listen. Let's begin. Barbledom, a confused sound of voices. Babirusa, large wild pig of Indonesia. Baboonery, foolishness, stupidity, nonsense. Bacate, having berries, berry-like. Bacchanal, drunkard, reveller. Vociferous, bearing berries. Baxiform, shaped like a berry. Bacivorous, eating berries. Basilicide, killer of berries. Backpiece, armour covering the back. Backstay, stay extending from ship's mastheads to the side of the ship. Bactericide, killer of bacteria. Baculiform, rod-shaped. Baculin, of, like or pertaining to the stick or cane. Of, like or pertaining to flogging. Baculum, penis bone in some mammals. Baculus, rod, staff or sceptre of power. Badigeon, plaster and ground stone mixture for repairing masonry. Badinage, playful repartee or banter. Badius, chestnut-coloured. Baedeker, guidebook. Betel, magical or holy meteoric stone. Baft, cheap coarse cotton fabric. Bagar, scuffle or brawl. Bagging, coarse fabric for making bags or sacks. Bagnio, bathing house. Bahadur, self-important official. Bahuvrihi, compound word whose second part is a noun but that acts as an adjective. Bail, barrier or pole separating horses in an open stable. Bailivate, office of a bailiff. Bailment, delivery of goods in trust. Baisma, kiss on the hand. Baize, coarse-napped cotton or wool fabric. Bakelite, type of solid plastic. Balaniferous, acorn-bearing. Balanism, use of suppositories. Balanoid, acorn-shaped. Balatron, joker, clown. Balbriggan, knitted cotton fabric. Balbuticient, stammering. Baldachin, rich embroidered silk and gold fabric. Baldachin, covering or canopy over a throne or altar. Balderdash, nonsense, a jumble of words. Baldric, shoulder strap for holding sword. Balefire, bonfire or beacon fire. Balisor, long-tailed badger. Ballistarius, crossbowman. Ballistraria, cross-shaped opening in wall for firing arrows. Balise, pole mounted on seashore as beacon. Ballaster, one who supplies ships with ballast. Balletomania, abnormal fondness for ballet. Ballistocardiograph, instrument for detecting body movements caused by heartbeat. Ballistophobia, fear of missiles. Ballottement, diagnosis of pregnancy by applying sharp force to abdomen. Ballyhoo, bombastic or pretentious nonsense. Balmorality, superficial enthusiasm for Scottish culture. Balneary, bath. Balneography, written description of baths. Balneology, the science of the therapeutic use of baths. Balustrade, row of columns supporting a stair rail. Balzarine, light cotton dress material. Bambosh, deceptive nonsense. Banalsic, materialistic, merely mechanical, pertaining to workshops. Bandole, small flat moulding around a column. Banderole, flat band with an inscription, small banner. Bandicoot, small long-nosed rat-like marsupial. Bandobast, detailed organisation, settlement. Bandolier, shoulder belt for carrying ammunition. Bandor, bass-sitten. Bangtail, mustang or wild horse. Banjolin, combination of banjo and mandolin. Banjulele, combination of banjo and ukulele. Bannock, flat unleavened loaf of bread. Banquette, raised way or footway above a parapet. Banteng, wild ox of Southeast Asia. Bantling, brat, whelp, bastard child. Baptistery, part of church reserved for performing baptisms. Bar, unit of pressure of 1 million dynes per square centimetre. Barignosis, loss of ability to distinguish weight. Baraguan, any jargon or unintelligible language. Barasinga, deer dwelling in swamps of India. Barathea, pebbly silk or worsted fabric with broken rib weave. Barathrum, an abyss, an insatiable person. Barbarocracy, government by barbarians. Barbate-bearded, barbet, stout-billed tropical bird. Barbette, earthen terrace inside the parapet of a rampart. Barbican, projecting watchtower over the gate of a castle. Barbigerus, bearded, bearing a beard. Barbiton, lute or lyre with many strings. Barbula, small tuft of hair just below the lower lip. Barcarolle, gondolier's song. Bardell, pack-saddle. Bardacucullus, hooded cloak worn by monks. Bardolatry, excessive devotion to or worship of Shakespeare. Barège, gauzy fabric of silk, cotton, wool, or worsted. Bargemaster, owner of a barge. Barkentine, three-masted vessel. Barleycorn, old unit of length equal to 1/3 inch. Barm, yeast, froth on fermenting liquor. Barmaster, local judge among miners. Barmcloth, an apron. Barmkin, battlement or turret on the outer wall of a castle. Barn, unit of area measurement of particles equal to 100 square femtometers. Barnard, member of gang of thieves who acts as decoy. Barodynamics, science of the support and mechanics of bridges. Baronosis, ability to perceive weight. Barograph, instrument for recording air pressure. Barology, study of gravitation. Baroscope, weather glass. Barouche, four-wheeled hooded carriage. Barakan, fine silk cloth. Barracoon, depot for slaves. Barras, coarse linen fabric. Baratine, some kind of fabric. Barratry, inciting riot or violence. Bar, placing capo or finger across guitar strings. Barule, narrow heraldic bar. Bartizan, parapet or battlement. Barton, farmyard. Baryakoya, deafness, hardness of hearing. Barophonic, having difficulty speaking. Bascule, apparatus of which one end rises as the other sinks. Basial, of, like or pertaining to kissing. Basiation, kissing. Basilica, Roman Catholic Church given special privileges. Basilicon, kind of ointment. Bassinet, light conical helmet. Bastinade, to beat with a stick or baton, especially on the feet. Bastion, tower at the corner of the fortification. Bastel, fortified house with vaulted ground floor. Bateleur, short-tailed African eagle. Bathmism, directive evolutionary force. Batholith, large mass of intruded igneous rock. Bathophobia, fear of falling from a high place. Bathos, appearance of the commonplace in elevated matter for rhetorical effect. Bathycolpion, deep-bosomed. Bathymeter, instrument for recording contours of deep oceans. Bathyrographical, of, like or pertaining to depth under water or elevation above sea level. Bathypelagic, found in the depths of the sea. Bathysmal, of, like or pertaining to the depths of the ocean. Bathythermograph, instrument for recording water temperature as compared to depth. Batik, method of dyeing fabric by covering certain sections with wax. Baiting, except. Batiste, fine soft sheer fabric of plain weave. Batology, the study of brambles. Baton, heraldic sign of bastardy. Batophobia, fear of heights or being close to tall buildings. Batrachian, of, like or pertaining to frogs or toads. Batrachivorous, frog-eating. Batrachophobia, fear of frogs and toads. Batrachomancy, divination using frogs. Batten, timber used to fasten down a door or hatch. Battledore, bat used to strike shuttlecock, game played with such a bat. Batology, futile repetition in speech or writing. Battue, indiscriminate slaughter, driving game towards slaughter. Baud, unit of data transmission speed of one signal event per second. Borsond, having white spots on the forehead. Bavardage, chattering, prattle. Bavian, insignificant or unskilled poet. Bavin, a bundle of brushwood. Bayadere, fabric with horizontal stripes in strongly contrasting colours. Bidalism, use of leeches for bloodletting. Bedeloid, of, like or pertaining to leeches. Bedelotomy, act of cutting a leech to increase its suction. Beadle, church caretaker or usher, mace-bearing official of an institution. Beadsman, monk or almoner who prays for benefactor. Beata, beatified woman. Beatlemania, obsession with the Beatles. Beatster, fishnet repairer. Beatus, beatified man. Bopers, linen fabric used for flags. Beaver, hinged face guard on a helmet. Beblubbered, disfigured from weeping. Beshek, relieving coughs. Becket, large hook or bracket used to hold tackle or spars. Beckets, rope handles. Bedaggle, to soil by dragging along the wet ground. Bedswerver, unfaithful spouse. Bee, hardwood on either side of bowsprit through which forestays are reeved. Beal, double-pointed miner's pick. Bureaucracy, government by brewers or brewing interests. Beeskep, straw beehive. Beestings, the first milk drawn from a cow after calving. Before time, formerly. Behither, on this side of, on the near side of. Behoof, a benefit resulting from some course of action. Bearer, pygmy antelope. Bell, unit of noise intensity equal to 10 decibels. Belay, to secure a rope by winding on a pin or cleat. Belcher, coloured, spotted neckerchief. Beldam, an old woman, a hag, an ancestress. Belemnoid, shaped like a dart. Belike, most likely, probably. Bellamine, large jug with rounded belly and narrow neck. Bellcote, ornamental structure to hold one or two large bells. Bellicism, inclination towards violence, hawkishness. Bellator, bell-founder. Belliferous, bringing war. Belling deer's mating call. Bellipotent, militarily powerful. Bellonian, mechanical instrument combining trumpets and drums. Bellwether, one who takes the lead. Indicator of trends. Beloid, shaped like an arrow. Bellomancy, divination by means of arrows. Bellonophilia, sexual obsession with sharp objects. Bellonophobia, fear of pins and needles. Bellonoid, shaped like a needle. Belvedere, raised covered terrace or pavilion. Belvedere, raised turret or lantern on the top of a house. Beamer, raised part of an Eastern church containing the altar. Benedict, a newly married man who has long been a bachelor. Benefactive, indicating for whom or which. Benefic, kindly, benign, beneficent. Benefice, ecclesiastical office to which revenue is attached. Beneficiate, to treat ores to remove impurities. Benet, exorcist. Bengaline, crosswise ribbed fabric. Benish, long-sleeved Middle Eastern outer garment. Benthic, of, like or pertaining to the depths of the ocean. Benthos, flora and fauna of the ocean floor. Berceau, covered walk. Berceuse, lullaby. Bergamask, country dance. Burge, spyglass or telescope. Berlin, four-wheeled covered carriage. Berlin, crude winter sled. Berm, narrow shelf or ledge at the top or bottom of a slope. Bursatrix, babysitter. Besom, curler's broom. Bestiarian, individual opposed to vivisection. Bestiocracy, rule by beasts. Bethel, a place of worship for seamen, nonconformist chapel. Betimes, in short time, speedily. Bêtise, foolish act or situation. Betwixt, between. Bewray, to reveal, to betray, to divulge. Bezel, oblique side or face of a cut gem. Bezestein, Eastern marketplace. Bezique, card game played with 2 decks of cards. Bezoar, stony material found in ruminant stomachs. Barrel, bluish-grey Himalayan goat. Biolate, 2-winged. Biaki, government by 2 people. Diaki. Bibacious, overly fond of drinking. Bibelo, trinket, miniature book of elegant design. Bibitry, of, like, or pertaining to drinking. Biblioclasm, destruction of books or the Bible. Bibliogenesis, production of books. Bibliognost, well-read individual, person with wide knowledge of books. Biblioclept, book thief. Bibliolatry, worship of the Bible or other books. Bibliology, study of books. Bibliomancy, divination by opening a book at random. Bibliomania, craze for books or reading. Bibliopegist, bookbinder. Bibliophagist, one who devours books literally or figuratively. Bibliophily, love or fondness for books or reading. Bibliophobia, fear of books. Bibliopoesy, making of books. Bibliopolist, bookseller. Bibliopoly, bookselling. Bibliotaph, one who hoards or hides books. Bibliotics, study of documents to determine authenticity. Bibulous, addicted to alcohol. Bicapitate, 2-headed. Bickern, anvil pointed at both ends. Bicollateral, having 2 identical sides. Bicorn, having 2 horns or points. Biddery, metal alloy inlaid with silver and or gold. Bidenticulate, having 2 teeth. Biduous, lasting 2 days. Bienséance, something appropriate or proper. Bifarious, organized in 2 rows. Bifid, divided in 2 by a deep split. Bifilar, having 2 threads. Bigential, consisting of 2 races, genera or subspecies. Biggin, a building. Bite, a wide bay, a bend or coil in a rope. Bijugate, having heads on both sides of a coin. Bilbo, iron bar used to shackle prisoners' feet. Bilge, lower point of inner hull of a ship, nonsense or rubbish. Bilious, ill-tempered, very unpleasant. Billingsgate, coarsely abusive language. Billon, base metal, alloy of copper, tin or silver. By location, ability to be in 2 places at once. Biloquist, one capable of speaking with 2 distinct voices. Bimetallism, currency exchange on both the gold and silver standards. Binarchy, government by 2 people. Diarchy, binate doubled, coupled. Binaural, of, pertaining to or heard by both ears. Bindle, blanket roll. Binnacle, case in which a ship's compass is kept. Binotonous, consisting or comprised of 2 musical tones. Binturong, civvy of southeastern Asia with long prehensile tail. Biobibliography, annotated biographical bibliography. Biosynosis, state of association of creatures in a certain region. Biocentric, having life as main principle. Biocide, killing living material. Bioecology, study of interaction of life in the environment. Biogenesis, theory that all life is derived from living matter alone. Biognosy, general study or theory of life. Biolith, rock formed by living creatures. Biometrics, study of biological measurement. Bioenergy, vital essence or force. Bionomics, study of organisms interacting in their environments. Biopic, film telling the life story of a celebrity. Biotaxi, classification of living organisms. Biotope, region of uniform environment and types of organisms. Bipinnate, two-winged. Biramus, forked, with two branches. Bireme, rowed ship or galley with two banks of oars. Biretta, square, three-ridged cap worn by Catholic clergy. Burl, to make a log spin by walking on it. Birostrate, double-beaked. Bis, twice, in two places. Biscacha, burrowing South American rodent. Biserial, in two rows or columns. Bisma, shame, disgrace. Scorn. Bissociation, association of an object with two or more ideas. Bisontine, of like or pertaining to bison. Bistoury, narrow surgical knife. Bistre, pigment with brownish colour derived from soot. Bisulcate, cloven-footed, cleft in two. Bitheism, belief in two gods. Bittern, small heron. Bits, posts mounted on a ship for fastening ropes. Bune, combining two entities into one. Biverbal, of like or pertaining to two words, having a double sense. Bivius, offering a choice, splitting between two directions. Blackguard, a menial helper. Blackguard, to vituperate, to portray as a scoundrel. Black master, undertaker. Blague, pretentious nonsense. Blaine, a boil or blister. Blandiloquence, complimentary speech, flattery. Blandish, to flatter and coax, to cajole. Blanket, coarse woolen cloth. Blarney, skilful flattery, nonsense. Blastogenesis, reproduction by budding. Blatnophone, instrument used to record sound on magnetic tape. Blatoid, of, like or pertaining to cockroaches. Blaubok, extinct bluish-coloured antelope of southern Africa. Blazon, heraldic arms painted on knight's shield or surcoat to describe heraldically. Blench, to shrink or flinch. Blendling, hybrid. Blendure, mixing. Blenoid, of or resembling mucus. Blenophobia, fear of slime. Blenny, small elongated marine fish. Blepharial, of, like or pertaining to eyelids. Blesbok, South African antelope with white patch on forehead. Blesiloquent, speaking with a stammer or lisp. Blecherous, having an ugly design. Blethskate, a garrulous talker of nonsense. Bletonism, alleged ability to find an underground water supply. Bluet, type of edible toadstool. Blissom, subject to or having strong sexual desires. Bloomery, factory where iron bars are manufactured. Bloviate, to write or speak windily. Blucher, leather half-boot. Blue Peter, blue flag with white square in centre used as ship's signal. Blue stocking, early feminist, educated or literary woman. Blunge, to mix clay with water. Blipe, piece of skin that peels off after a sunburn. Bonerges, skilled orator with powerful voice. Boatswain, ship's crew member in charge of equipment and maintenance. Bobbinet, machine-made cotton lace. Bobeche, circular wax catcher that fits over a candle. Bobstay, rope used on ships to steady the bowsprit. Bocking, smoked herring. Bodach, old man, churl, goblin or spectre. Baudemont, prediction or prophecy. Bodewash, cow dung. Bodge, piece of poor or clumsy workmanship. Bodkin, small tool for pricking holes, small dagger. Boeotian, stupid, dull. Pathetic, helpful, curative. Bogan, quiet tributary or backwater. Boggart, spectre, bugbear, goblin. Bolar, of, like or pertaining to clay. Bolection, moulding around a panel. Bolero, Spanish dance with sudden pauses and sharp turns. Bolide, large meteor that bursts, a fireball. Bollard, short post on a wharf or ship to which ropes are tied. Bolometer, instrument for measuring radiant energy or infrared light. Bolthead, straight-necked distillation vessel or flask. Bolt rope, strong rope stitched to edges of a sail. Bolus, rounded mass. Bowman, well-dressed criminal, bombard, instrument like the bassoon. Bombardon, large keyless bass trumpet. Bombaster, one who stuffs or pads things. Bombastry, bombastic language or composition. Bombazine, twilled silk and worsted fabric. Bombay, bulging outwards. Bombic, of, like or pertaining to silkworms. Bombolate, to hum, buzz or drone. Bombosity, the buttocks. Bombus, convex, rounded. Bombicine, of, like or pertaining to silk or cotton. Bombolius, humming or buzzing. Bonassus, bison. Bonbonniere, small box used for sweetmeats. Bonzer, large marble used in games. Bongo, reddish African antelope with white vertical stripes. Bongre, agreeably. Bonification, paying of bonus or reward. Boniform, having the form of good. Bonify, to improve or ameliorate. Boning, estimating straightness by looking along a row of poles. Bonism, the doctrine that the world is good but not perfect. Bontbok, South African antelope with unusual coloration. Bonzari, Buddhist monastery. Bonzolin, artificial ivory-like substance used to make billiard balls. Boodle, counterfeit money, funds obtained by corruption. Bupik, oxide. Barrage, rough-stemmed herb used in salads. Borrasco, violent windsquall. Borato, thin fabric. Borborology, filthy talk. Borborygmus, rumbling noise in the intestines. Bordar, tenant who holds land at his lord's pleasure. Bordereau, detailed bill or invoice. Borgia, border surrounding a heraldic shield. Bore, tidal flow of water up estuaries. Bornée, limited, narrow-minded. Borsella, instrument for shaping glass vessels. Bort, diamond fragments, or dust. Borzoi, wolfhound. Boskage, thick foliage, woodland. Boschveld, bush country, wilderness. Bosquet, thicket, plantation. Bosky, covered with trees or shrubs. Bossa nova, Brazilian dance similar to samba. Bossylated, knobby. Boston, waltz-like dance. Bosun, boatswain. Bot, larva of a botfly that infests horses. Botanomancy, divination using burning branches or plants. Botonnais, having 3 buds like a trefoil. Botryoidal, like a bunch of grapes. Bottine, small boot. Bottomry, using the ship as collateral to finance a sea voyage. Boucle, fabric of uneven looped yarn. Bouillotte, card game resembling poker. Bouleterion, meeting place, assembly hall. Bouleversement, overturning, reversal, ruin. Bolt, to sift through cloth, to examine by sifting. Bound, to prepare, to dress, to set out. Bourrasque, tempest. Bourdon, drone bass of a bagpipe or organ. Bourgeoisification, conversion to a bourgeois way of life or perspective. Bourrée, French Baroque dance with quick rhythm. Boursocrate, stock exchange official. Boustrophedon, writing alternating left-right then right-left. Boutade, sudden outburst. Bovicide, slaughter of cattle, one who kills cattle. Boviform, cow-shaped. Bower, anchor carried at bow of a ship. Bowery, seedy or run-down district of a city. Bowline, rope used to keep weather edge of a sail taut. Bowsprit, spar that extends at bows of a ship. Boyau, communication trench. Boig, a problem difficult to get to grips with. Brabble or to squabble or quarrel, bracate, having feathered legs or feet. Bracial, bracket or socket mounted on a wall. Bracer, armour for the lower arm. Brach, female hunting hound. Brachal, armour for the arm. Brache, whelp, brat, bitch hound. Brachiation, act of swinging by one's arms from place to place. Brachyferous, bearing or having branches or arms. Brachiotomy, amputation of an arm. Brachycatalectic, lacking 2 syllables from end of a line of verse. Brachycerous, having horns or antennae clipped or removed. Brachydactylous, having short or stubby fingers. Brachygraphy, writing using abbreviations or shortened characters. Shorthand. Brachymetropia, short-sightedness. Brachiology, laconic, abbreviated or interrupted speech. Brachypodous, short-legged. Brachypterous, short-winged. Brackish, saltish, very salty. Brackle, to break bread or cake into pieces. Bracteat, thin beaten plate of gold or silver. Bradall, small boring tool. Bradycism, slow up and down movement of the earth's crust. Braguette, armoured codpiece. Brail, leather strap to bind a hawk's wing. Brails, ropes on edge of sail for hauling up. Braid, to appear above ground, of crops. Branchial, of like or pertaining to gills. Branchiferous, having or bearing gills. Branchiform, gill-shaped. Brandling, striped earthworm used as fishing bait. Brank, to prance, toss the head, to strut. Branslow, an old French follow-the-leader dance. Brasero, a place where criminals and heretics are burned. Brash, collection of broken pieces of rock or ice. Brassage, difference between cost of minting coin and its value. Brassard, badge worn on the arm, piece of armour for the arm. Brattice, fixed tower of wood on a castle wall. Brattice, partition in mine shaft used to support walls and roof. Braxy, disease of sheep causing fits. Bray, heraldic device of a barnacle or horse's bit. Brayer, instrument for spreading ink and printing. Bream, to clean a ship's bottom by burning off seaweed. Bressummer, beam supporting front of a building. Bressummer. Breccia, geological formation of angular fragments of rock. Breedbait, someone looking for an argument. Brehan, judge or magistrate in ancient Ireland. Breloch, an ornament attached to a watch. Breme, fierce, cruel, keen. Bressumer, beam supporting a wall over an opening. Bretache, partition to control ventilation in a mine. Breve, mark over letter to indicate a short vowel sound. Brevet, kommission som tillåter officer att ta högre grad. Breviary, book containing daily church service. Breviate, a brief compendium, a lawyer's brief. Brevicodate, short-tailed. Breviloquence, short-windedness, tendency toward brevity in speech. Breviped, short-legged creature. Brevipennate, having short wings. Briarian, many-handed. Brickle, harness for humans to pull heavy loads. Bridewell, house of corrections, jail. Bridgewater, anything undesirable or worthless. Bridoon, light military bridle. Brigandine, leather armour with metal scales. Brigantine, two-masted ship. Brig, to intrigue. Brilliantine, light lustrous cotton and worsted fabric. Brilliantine, perfumed oil for making hair glossy. Brimborian, worthless nonsense, trash. Brindled, marked with streaks or spots. Brio, enthusiastic vigour. Briquet, heraldic device of a flint and steel. Brizia, part of a parapet breaking from the general direction. Britska, open four-wheeled carriage. Broadcloth, dense twilled wool or worsted fabric. Brobdingnagian, immense. Brocade, rich silk fabric with raised patterns. Brocade, elementary law or principle, canon, axiom, maxim, broch, luminous ring around the moon. Brochet, with raised pattern, brochette, skewer for holding food steady while cooking. Brocken, 2-year-old stag. Brock-faced, having a white mark on the face or snout. Brodekin, light boot worn inside heavier boots. Broderie, embroidery pattern. Brogan, strong and tough working shoe. Broma, food, aliment. Bromatology, study of food. Bromidrosis, strong-smelling sweat. Bromography, a treatise on food. Bromography, written description of food. Bromopnea, bad breath. Broncos, temporary loss of voice. Laryngitis. Bronchoscope, instrument for examining the windpipe. Brontology, scientific study of thunder. Brontomancy, divination using thunder. Brontophobia, fear of thunder and lightning. Brouette, small 2-wheeled carriage. Brougham, 1-horse closed carriage. Brute, something rumoured widely, to report or spread rumour. Brumal, of, like or pertaining to winter. Brumus, foggy, wintry. Brunneus, dark brown. Bruxism, habitual grinding of the teeth. Bruxomania, compulsion for grinding teeth. Bryology, the study of mosses and liverworts. Buboline, of, like or pertaining to buffalo or antelopes. Bubonalgia, painful inflammation of the groin. Buccal, of, like or pertaining to the mouth or cheek. Buchan, metal frame on which meat is dried and or roasted. Buccina, Roman curved trumpet. Buccinal, shaped or sounding like a trumpet. Bucula, double chin. Bucentaur, legendary half-man and half-ox. Buck and wing, solo tap dance with many leg flings and leaps. Buckminster fullerene, stable carbon molecule with structure like a geodesic dome. Buckram, stiff-finished cotton or linen used for linings of garments. Bucoliest, writer of pastoral poems. Bucolic, of, like or pertaining to the tending of cattle. Rustic, rural. Buddle, sloping container for washing ore. Buffet, chin piece for helmet with breathing holes. Buffoniform, shaped like a toad. Bufotenine, hallucinogen found in certain tropical toads. Boogaboo, loud or empty nonsense. Boule, inlaying of precious material onto furniture. Bulbiferous, bearing bulbs. Bulbul, gregarious songbird. Bulgur, cooked broken wheat. Bulimy, extreme hunger. Bulla, round seal attached to a papal bull. Bullis, wild plum. Bullantic, capitalized and ornamented as letters used on papal bulls. Bullery, collection of papal bulls. Bullate, having a blistered or puckered appearance. Bulliform, shaped like a blister or boil. Bullionism, belief in the importance of metallic currency in economics. Bullition, the act of boiling. Bullock, an ox or castrated bull. Bullyrag, to assault with abusive language. To badger. Bulse, a small bag for diamonds or gold dust. Bulwark, the side of a ship above the deck. Bumboat, small boat used in harbours to carry provisions. Bummicky, cement mixed with stone chips used in masonry. Bummel stroll, leisurely journey. Bump, coarse cotton fabric. Bumpkin, spar projecting from stern of ship. Bumptious, offensively conceited or self-assertive. Buncombe, speech-making intended for the mass media. Humbug. Bunt, middle of sail, fishnet or cloth when slack. Bunting, light loosely woven fabric used for flags. Buntline, rope attached to middle of square sail to haul it up to the yard. Burde, cotton fabric. Burgage, tenure in sockage for a yearly rent. Burgonet, light helmet with nose and cheek protection. Burgee, small ship's flag used for identification or signalling. Burgensic, of, like or pertaining to a borough or its citizens. Burgrave, commander of a German town or castle. Burk, to suppress quietly, to bypass or avoid. Burlap, coarse plain woven jute or hemp fabric. Burnet, dark brown, dark woolen cloth. Burrel, coarse russet cloth. Burrel, an eavesdropper. Burstone, type of rock used to make millstones. Bursal, of, like or pertaining to a state's revenues. Bursary, treasury of a monastery or college. Burse, square cloth case to carry the corporal during communion service. Bursiculate, resembling a small pouch. Bursiform, shaped like a pouch or purse. Bourgeois, nonsense. Buskin, tragedy as a dramatic genre. Bus, rude or playful kiss. Butyanine, of, like, or pertaining to buzzards. But, unit of volume equal to 2 hogsheads or 126 gallons. Buttery, storeroom for provisions and liquors. Butyraceous, resembling, producing or having the qualities of butter. Butyric, of, like or pertaining to butter. Byre, a cow barn. Byrny, coat of mail or breastplate. Bissaceous, delicately filamentous. Biciferous, having tufts or threads. Bisine, silky, soft, having many threads. Bissoid, fibrous, cottony soft. Byssus, mummy wrapping fabric. Bywaner, agricultural labourer. You've just wandered through a quiet garden of forgotten words. Each one a whisper, a rhythm, a resting place for your thoughts. There's no need to remember them. They were here only to guide you, gently, into stillness. If you're still awake, that's okay. Just let the silence wrap around you now. And when sleep comes, let it be soft and full of wonder. Good night.